The Sectoral Oversight Committee on National Security is chaired by SLPP parliamentarian Sarath Veerasekara, and the other members included Chamal Rajapaksa, Johnston Fernando, Sampath Athukorala, Pradeep Udugoda, Chandima Veerakodi, Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca, Professor Channa Jasumana, Sumit Udukumbura, Sudarshana Denipitiya and Nimal Piyatissa. The report prepared by the Sectoral Oversight Committee on National Security on the impact of the privatisation of the state-owned 49.5 stake of Sri Lanka Telecom would have on national security was presented to the Parliament on Friday the 9th, and it contained 20 key points. There will be high risk of information of important subscribers of diplomatic missions, high-level public sector, private sector, corporate businesses, defence services, etc. getting leaked out or snooped out. If privatised, the government will lose control for call-mongering, and snooping data as tools used for such monitoring are hidden from usual operations and maintenance. The call detail records of VVIPs and security agencies as well as browsing data can easily be extracted from and passed down to wrong hands. Fraudulent acts in telecom industry such as misuse in routers, call bypass, call hijacking, etc. could lead to a loss of a considerable amount of revenue to the state. The above are some of the key points in the document. In addition, the report notes that if privatised and if the purchaser controlling the shares in SLT does not agree to comply with the Computer Crimes Act, Electronic Transaction Act, Right to Information Act, Banking Act, Telecommunication Act and Intellectual Property Act, national security will be affected.
Further privatization would expose the country's critical communication infrastructure, sensitive information, to private entities whose profit-oriented interests can compromise national security. Hence, privatization of telecom is not recommended. Anyone, organization who had been blacklisted, helped terrorists, extremists in any form should not be allowed to buy any share and have any control over our national assets. The state can buy back the other large shareholder of telecom as provided for in the agreement, divide the segments into sensitive and vulnerable, excess lands and buildings, critical infrastructure and the business. Whilst retaining the first segments affecting national security, the state can divest the others holding a major share through private-public partnership, ensuring critical infrastructure is protected and all government regulations are adhered to.
Former Minister Johnston Fernando was appointed to the Sectoral Oversight Committee on National Security on the 6th of June, and on Friday the 9th, Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca said he would step down from the committee. MP Rauf Hakim was appointed by the Samagi Janabala Vegiya to the Sectoral Oversight Committee on National Security for the position left vacant by Field Marshal Fonseca.
The government has focused its attention to the Sectoral Oversight Committee report, which was presented to Parliament today, emphasizing the concerns surrounding the potential risk to national security resulting from the privatization of Sri Lanka Telecom. The President's Media Division in a statement said, while acknowledging the factual content of the report, the government believes that it lacks a logical or scientific data analysis pertaining to the subject. It adds, to address this deficiency, it is necessary to examine the operations and regulation of information and communication technology service providers in Sri Lanka, analyze financial data related to the sector, understand Sri Lanka's national ambitions in this field, assess the available capital capacity, and conduct a comprehensive study of global trends. It stated that the government has confirmed that the policy decision taken by the government will not affect the national security as indicated in this report. The President's Media Division also says that a final decision will be taken at an upcoming cabinet meeting, taking into consideration the recommendations of the information and communication sector as well as this report. Additionally, the PMD emphasizes that the current government's policy is focused on providing opportunities to the private sector, distancing it from direct government involvement.